In the world of heavy industry, everything comes down to moving materials. It's the absolute lifeblood of the business. And right at the center of it all is a tool that seems pretty simple, the Weighbridge. But what happens when that single critical point of measurement gets compromised? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain and expose the 10 hidden ways Weighbridges are manipulated and what that really means for your operations.
And this isn't just some clever saying, right? For anyone in mining, logistics, manufacturing, you know this is the fundamental truth. Every single kilogram that crosses a weighbridge translates directly to your bottom line. It's either revenue or it's a cost. That means the accuracy of that measurement, it's completely non-negotiable. I want you to think of your weighbridge as the cash register for all your bulk materials. It's that one definitive moment where value gets assigned. So yeah, it's a vital checkpoint for your finances and your operations. But because so much money and material hinges on its readings, it's also a huge target for manipulation. This makes it one of the most vulnerable points in your entire supply chain. And when someone exploits that vulnerability, the fallout can be pretty severe. I mean, you're looking at direct revenue leakage from bad billing. You get into these costly operational disputes with your suppliers and customers. Your inventory gets thrown into chaos because of all the weight discrepancies. And you could even face serious compliance risks if your records just don't add up under scrutiny. It's a real mess.
Okay, so how does this stuff actually happen? You might be picturing some high-tech heist, but honestly, it's usually done through some surprisingly simple, low-tech methods that just take advantage of gaps in old manual processes. So let's dive in and break down the 10 most common ways this goes down.
First up, you've got the most direct stuff, physical and data manipulation. This is things like messing with the truck's empty or tare weight, which throws off the final net weight. Or it can be as simple as not driving the whole truck onto the scale. It could also just be an operator manually punching in different numbers in the system, or even physically altering a paper weighment ticket. Easy to do if no one's really watching.
All right, next, these tactics can get a bit more organized, more systemic. This is where you start to see things like vehicle swapping. A different truck gets weighed than the one that's actually on the books. This almost always involves operator collusion. It's an inside job. You might also see one load suddenly generating multiple dispatch tickets, or drivers weighing in a few times so they can pick the reading that works best for them.
And finally, there are the vulnerabilities that just pop up from gaps in the process itself. For instance, you get a mismatch between the weight recorded when a truck leaves one site and when it arrives at another with no easy way to figure out what happened. Or maybe transactions are recorded way later, offline, which opens up this little window of opportunity for records to be, well, let's just say, adjusted before they're finalized.
Now, after seeing all those methods laid out, you're probably asking the most important question. Why? Why are these systems so easy to game? The answer, and this is key, isn't really about a single bad actor. It's about the systemic weaknesses in the process that allow these things to happen, often completely undetected.
And this right here, this slide lays it all bare. These risks absolutely thrive when your systems are manual and when you're still relying on paper tickets. They exist because the whole operation isn't easily traceable. It's kind of a black box. The problem gets even bigger when your systems are totally isolated from site to site and when real-time monitoring is either limited or just doesn't exist at all. It's truly a perfect storm for risk.
But, and this is the good news, there is a clear path forward. The leading industrial companies, they aren't just trying to patch these holes anymore. They're totally redesigning their processes from the ground up to build real operational integrity. And they're doing it with modern digital tools. And this modern approach, it directly tackles every single one of those root causes we just talked about. So instead of manual systems, you get digital transactions. Instead of untraceable paper, you get traceable, time-stamped records that can't be altered. Instead of isolated sites flying blind, you have centralized monitoring dashboards. And you can start using operational analytics and even cross-company verification to make sure every single number is accurate and accounted for. It's a game changer. So what's the big takeaway for you and your business? Well, it means that securing your Weighbridge operations is about so much more than just stopping fraud. It's really about building a solid foundation of trust, transparency, and data-driven confidence that stretches across your entire supply chain. So, the crucial point is this. In an environment where we know every kilogram has real value, relying on outdated, manual systems is a risk you just can't afford to take anymore. Making your Weighbridge operations transparent and fully traceable isn't just a best practice, it's absolutely critical for your business's integrity.
And that brings us to the final and maybe most important question you should be asking yourself and your team. When you look at your own material movements, from the moment they start to the moment they arrive, how transparent are your operations?